attachment begin? What is the root cause of attachment? Constant thinking. You know, you meet a person and you say, come back home and say, nice person. Up to there it's okay. Beyond that, if you keep saying, nice person, nice person, nice person, nice person, you get attached to that person. So then, when the person is there, you're comfortable. When the person is not there, you miss. And then, therefore, you go about establishing an exclusive, restrictive relationship with that person, which creates bondage. You get bound, and then you get totally immobilized. You can't function without that person. It's like physical bondage. You've come here this evening. Suppose you tie yourself to the chair you're sitting on. You tie yourself to the floor. You nail yourself to the floor. By the time the session is over at 8 o'clock, you want to get up, but you can't. That is what attachment is at a mental level. So, you feel empty within. Thoughts rush out into the world to acquire objects and beings in the belief that you will feel full thereafter. And that fullness never ever comes. Detachment, on the other hand, is when your thoughts move to a higher plane. When your thought is shifted to the higher, then you get detached from the lower. It's like when you're climbing a ladder, when your foot is firmly established on the higher rung, only then can you let go of the lower rung. That's what detachment is. You know, Wordsworth has written a beautiful poem called Laodamia, in which he speaks of the war between the Greeks and the Trojans, who were always at war with each other. So once when the Greek ships were approaching the Trojan soil, apparently there was a prophecy that the first Greek who lands on Trojan soil will be killed. And the Greeks were in a quandary. They didn't know whom to send first. If they send an ordinary soldier, the Trojans will make fun of them. If they send a senior person, a general, they lose a valuable person. So while they were debating, Protesilaus, the great young Greek hero, knew that their honor was at stake, and he jumped and he fought valiantly, but was killed. And his wife, the beautiful young Laodamia, was grief-stricken. And she prayed to the Lord and said, you must give my husband back to me. And Jehovah was so pleased with her devotion to the husband that he agreed to give back the husband, but for only 3 hours. And that too, he was a ghost, not for real. Naturally, once you're gone, you can't come back. But she saw her husband's form and rushed towards him to embrace him, and her hands met and she was downcast. And the rest of the poem is a beautiful conversation between Protesilaus, who's detached, and Laodamia, who's so totally attached to him. Our thought never moves to the lofty, and therefore you get stuck with all the petty lower things. That's the problem. Wherever there is attachment, you mess up your relationship because it's based on expectations. So it's not love really, it's business that you're transacting with people. You say, I will love you provided you do this, 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 this for me. And these expectations are never ending, they are absurd, and they have no connection with reality. Totally unrealistic. And you're constantly making demands on the other person. However much the other person does for you, you don't see it because you're so full of yourself and your demands are unending. And when these expectations and demands are not met with, you turn frustrated and bitter with the other person. So instead of having a happy interaction, the moment the person comes in, you never do this for me, you've never done this for me, why don't you do this for me? And so you turn off the other person. So detachment, on the other hand, is a relationship based on love. You truly love the other person for what he or she is. You don't want anything from the other person because for the simple reason that you're a giver. In every relationship, you only focus on what can I do for you rather than expectations and demands. And so therefore, the other person adores you, you are happy, you have a wonderful relationship with that person. You're happy even when you're not catered to. That's the most amazing thing. So, in the end, with attachment, every relationship, every interaction with the person is bitter, is unpleasant, is conflict-ridden. And in the end, you lose the person. Either the relationship breaks or there's death. Either way, you're gone. Whereas in detachment, every interaction with the person is full of joy and cheer. You're looking forward to meeting the person. You have a wonderful time together. And you have a long-lasting relationship.